Math singer, yum.
You probably know Lewis Carroll as an English author and poet who is most famous for his children's books, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and its sequel, Through the Looking Glass. However, you are probably less familiar with the fact that Lewis Carroll was also a mathematician. In fact, while all of Carroll's literary works were published under the name of Lewis Carroll, all of his mathematical papers and books were published under his real name, Charles Dodgson. Dodgson's most famous mathematical work was a book on determinants, which was published in 1867. However, the subject of this video, well, it revolves around a paper that he published in the magazine Nature in 1897, just a year before Dodgson's death at age 65. This obscure article outlines a remarkable technique for dividing any positive integer by 11 once the remainder upon division is known. As an example, consider the number 49,146. Well, it turns out that whenever 49,146 is divided by 11, the result obtained is a quotient of 4467 with a remainder of 9. Surprisingly, Dodgson notes that if the quotient and the remainder are concatenated into the number 44679, then the original number, 49,146, minus the concatenated quotient and remainder, 44,679, necessarily results in the quotient of 4467. This fact seems surprising at first, but the reason for the result is straightforward. We really just need to note that by expressing 11 as 10 plus 1, and then distributing the 4467, we see that 49,146 can be written as 10 times 4467 plus 1 times 4467 plus 9. A little bit of algebra then reveals that 4467 is equal to 49,146 minus the sum of 10 times 4467 and 9. Of course, 10 times 4467 plus 9 is just the concatenation of the quotient 4467 and the remainder 9. This explains why the original number, 49,146, minus the concatenated quotient and remainder, 44679, results in the quotient of 4467. It turns out that these ideas can be used to develop a remarkable technique for dividing a number by 11 once the remainder upon the division is known. Before we explain this technique, please consider subscribing to this channel by hovering over the red box in the bottom right corner and clicking subscribe. I'd really appreciate your help in building this channel. Now, let's forget for a moment that we know the result of dividing 11 into 49,146 and see how to use Dodgson's observation to obtain the answer. First, we need to know the remainder that this division will produce. You might recall that by starting with the digit in the ones column, the 6, and alternately subtracting and adding the digits to the left of 6, we obtain a new number, namely -2, that has the same remainder that our original number will have upon dividing by 11. Well, since -2 is equal to 11 times -1 plus 9, we can conclude that 49,146 divided by 11 is equal to, well, some quotient plus a remainder of 9. Now we can get started with our division. Let's begin by writing 49,146 and placing the remainder of 9 below the 6 in the ones column. The rest of the mystery number to the left of 6 will be revealed in several steps, and we know from our earlier example that this number will turn out to be the quotient obtained when dividing 11 into 49,146. We'll start by subtracting 9 from 6. Of course, 9 is greater than 6, so we'll borrow 1 from the 4 in the tens column, and then subtracting 9 from 16 gives us 7, which is the digit in the ones column of our quotient. Well, since our mystery number is the concatenation of our quotient and remainder, 7 is also the digit in the tens column of our mystery number. We now subtract 7 from 13, after borrowing again from the hundreds column, and get 6, which is the digit in the tens column of our quotient. Well, it is also the digit in the hundreds column of our mystery number. Continuing in this manner reveals that 4 is the digit in the hundreds column of our quotient, as well as the digit in the thousands column of our quotient. The result shows that dividing 11 into 49,146 produces a quotient of 4467 with a remainder of 9. It turns out that Dodgson's technique of dividing by subtracting can be modified to divide 9 into any positive integer. Please take some time to think about how this might be accomplished, and then view the Math Singer video that explains how to do it. For now, thanks for viewing, and please consider subscribing to this channel. I'll see you in the next video.